The first time Marcus Chen saw Zaraketh remove her battle armor, he understood why the Corvani Empire had never been defeated in 3,000 years of galactic conquest. She stood in the decontamination chamber of the human research vessel. Persistence, her 7-foot frame casting shadows that seemed to writhe with their own dark intelligence. Her exoskeleton gleamed obsidian black, segmented plates covering what humans could only guess was flesh beneath. Bioluminescent patterns pulsed along her limbs in hypnotic spirals, neural pathways visible through translucent sections of her natural carapace. "Your species finds us disturbing," she said, her voice emanating from somewhere within her thorax, each word precisely enunciated despite the absence of visible lips. "Even our allies prefer us armored." Marcus looked up from his xenobiology scanner, genuinely puzzled. "Armored? You mean that tactical gear you were wearing during the boarding action?" The luminescent patterns on Zaraketh's body shifted to what Marcus had learned indicated confusion among her people. Her 4 eyes, 2 large primaries flanked by smaller secondaries, focused on him with unnerving intensity. "No, human. I refer to this." She gestured to her own body with one of her 4 arms. "Our natural carapace. Other species see weapons where we see skin. They see nightmares where we see ourselves." Marcus blinked, then laughed, not mockingly, but with genuine surprise. "That's not armor. That's just you." 3 months earlier, when the Corvani had first made contact with humanity, every other species in the galactic community had offered the same advice. Be very careful. They are beautiful and terrible. They are living weapons who have never known defeat. The warnings weren't wrong. The Corvani Empire controlled a third of the galaxy through a combination of tactical brilliance and what could only be described as evolutionary perfection for warfare. Their exoskeletons could deflect energy weapons. Their 4-armed physiology allowed for complex multitasking in combat. Their compound eyes provided nearly 360-degree vision. Most unsettling of all, they seemed to feel no fear. But Marcus, head, xenobiologist for humanity's first diplomatic mission, saw something else entirely. "When I look at you," he said, setting down his scanner, "I see incredible biological engineering. Your carapace isn't armor, it's an integrated environmental suit. Those patterns aren't weapon systems, they're your nervous system optimized for rapid information processing. You're not a living weapon, you're a living spaceship." Zaraketh's secondary eyes widened, an expression Marcus had never seen from her species. "You study us like specimens." "I study you like miracles," Marcus corrected. "Do you know what humans had to do to survive in space? We built metal shells around our fragile bodies. We created artificial gravity to prevent our bones from dissolving. We pumped chemicals into our blood to prevent radiation sickness. You were born spacefaring. Every adaptation your people made for survival, we had to invent." For the first time since first contact, Zaraketh seemed uncertain. Her bioluminescent patterns dimmed to a barely perceptible glow. "The hegemony fears us because they see death in our form," she said quietly. "The Federation respects us because they see conquest in our history. The trade union tolerates us because they see profit in our protection. What do humans see?" Marcus considered this carefully. Outside the viewport, stars wheeled slowly as the Persistence maintained its orbit around the neutral meeting station, where first contact protocols were being established. Representatives from a dozen species waited for the outcome of these preliminary cultural exchanges. "We see someone who evolved on a world that tried very hard to kill them," he said finally. "Just like us." Zaraketh's patterns brightened suddenly, cycling through colors Marcus had never observed before. "Your homeworld was hostile?" "Catastrophically so. Ice ages, supervolcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, predators, diseases, famines. Earth tried. to wipe us out every few thousand years. We survive because we're too stubborn to die and too curious to stop trying new things. This is why your diplomatic approach differs from others, Zaraketh mused. You do not seek to appease us or contain us. We want to understand you, Marcus said. Because understanding is the first step toward friendship, and humans collect friends the way your people apparently collect star systems. The joke earned him something that might have been laughter, a harmonic resonance from within Zaraketh's thorax that made the air shimmer. There is something I must show you, she said, and began manipulating controls Marcus hadn't noticed embedded in what he'd thought was decorative patterning on her arms. The patterns across her entire body began to shift and change, and Marcus realized he was watching active camouflage in operation. But instead of blending with the environment, Zaraketh's carapace began displaying images, star charts, he realized, then family portraits, art, poetry written in bioluminescent script across her limbs. This is what no other species has asked. To see, she said. They see our adaptation for war and assume that is all we are. But we carry our entire culture with us, written on our bodies. We are libraries. We are art galleries. We are living museums of our people's achievements. Marcus stared in wonder as epic poems flowed across her exoskeleton in languages of light. It's beautiful, he whispered. You truly do not see armor when you look at us. I see people who turn their bodies into love letters to their civilization, Marcus said. I see a species that refused to leave their culture behind when they reached for the stars. The patterns on Zaraketh's body shifted to what Marcus now recognized as deep satisfaction, warm golds and soft blues that made her seem to glow from within. I believe, she said, that humans and Corvani will become very good friends indeed. 3. Months later, when the formal alliance was signed, representatives from across the galaxy watched in amazement as Corvani warriors and human scientists worked side by side, sharing knowledge and stories. The galaxy's most feared species had found their match not in another race of warriors, but in a species of curious, stubborn survivors who saw past the surface to the soul beneath. Marcus Chen, now serving as the first human ambassador to the Corvani Empire, often smiled when other species asked him how humanity had so quickly earned the trust of the galaxy's apex predators. The answer was simple. They had never seen predators at all. They had seen people.